All right, so living in Korea has been completely opposite of what I had originally thought it was going to be. I have not made a video in quite some time, so that needs to be addressed, I think. First thing, I guess, the last time I made a video, I think it was like 3 months ago, 2 months ago. I've been living in Korea now for just over 4 months, I believe, 4.5 months? Yeah. And then next week starts my vacation time. Yee, finally, I'm so excited. Yeah, so I haven't made a video mainly because the past 2 months have not been good, like, at all. My school, I'm not going to say anything about my school yet because I don't know what that will get me, but maybe after I leave the school, then I'll talk about that. Basically, when you get to Korea, you are thrown into any school, and it could be good, it could be bad. You don't know until you get there. Literally, you just don't know. For people that are going through EPIK, you don't know where you're going until you've already got to Korea. So if you come to Korea, you find out while you're there. This is where you're going, by the way, which is really scary. I can see where it'd be kind of fun, like, ooh, like, where am I going? It's a mystery. It's gonna be such a fun game. But then you're also like, wait, how the hell am I gonna tell my family and my friends where I live? And, for me, I was lucky because I was told of my placement a month prior to leaving, which is like crazy in advance for Korea. Yeah, and so as you know, I am in Gwangyang. Well, maybe not no, but yeah. I'm in Gwangyang, which is in the most rural part of South Korea. It's in the very, very south, and I live in Gwangyang, which is the southernmost city in the entire country. So far south. Like, I'm next to the ocean, essentially, but I don't have any beaches. You know what I do have, though? A man-made island with POSCO, which is the leading steel plant in the world that makes so much pollution. I'm living in the most polluted city in Korea, so there's that as well. Meh. There was one day you couldn't even see the buildings in front of you, and I was like, this is an issue that nobody is addressing, kind of driving me crazy, but whatever. Anyway, so let's just get a little started. In December, I think that was my worst month, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was difficult. Like, I was struggling. I wouldn't say it was, what is it called? Culture shock, there we go. I wouldn't say it's culture shock because I've been to Korea before and I wasn't shocked by the culture. But it was a huge change because I had lived with my dad my entire life, and this is the first time I've ever lived alone, and apart from that, I don't really have any friends here. I have a couple friends, but a couple foreign friends in Gwangyang, but there's not many of us. I think there's like 5, and with our schedules, they kind of mismatch, and so we don't get to see each other as often as I would like, and so sometimes I'll go an entire 15 days without speaking or seeing any friends, and that is really, really hard for me because I am extremely extroverted and I want to be able to talk to everyone at the store and want to be able to talk to just literally everyone on the street, but I can't because they don't speak English for the most part. At least I have yet to meet anyone that is down to talk besides the, like, easy, like, hey, how are you? Da, da, da. That's as far as it goes. And so that has been quite the struggle for me, just being very social and not being able to socialize. And then the time zone is so different. And so I can only talk to my dad on pretty much Sunday mornings because then it's Saturday evening for him. And that's like the only time because during the week, when I wake up, he's at work. And then when I get off work, he's asleep. And he doesn't wake up until I'm going to sleep. So the weekdays are completely out of the picture. And that goes not just for my dad, but for every one of my friends back in the States. It's just the time zone is entirely different. So I don't have any face-to-face time or like FaceTime. Yeah, so that's been an issue. In December, it was really, really rough because I was just going through like, I haven't seen anybody, I haven't talked to anybody, my extroverted self is dying, I'm extremely lonely. I was sick of my coworkers always saying something about me being vegan. Every single day at lunch, they say something about me being vegan. And it's rude, it's really rude. And I know that they're not, it's a very collective culture, and so I know that here, veganism is not a thing. It's not a thing at all. And so it's kind of weird for them. And I understand that. But to tear me down and to say things about my body, that just kind of drives me crazy. Like, I would have a bowl of vegetables or something. Like, I would take all the side dishes because I was like, I don't know what else to eat. And then for lunch and stuff. And like one woman in particular, every day she would either say, you eat too much or you eat too little. Every single day she would say something like that. And I was like, well, I don't know what you want from me, because either if I eat like a lot of this stuff, then you get like upset that I'm eating so much. And then if I only have kimchi and rice, if that's all they have, then you're like, oh, you eat too little. And then too much salt. Oh, Megan, add salt. I got told that I was too skinny. You look like a skeleton. It's weird. And I was like, oh, okay. Thanks. That's awesome. Thank you for saying that. That's really nice. Anything else? And it's so stupid too, because I have like other coworkers who are skinnier than me. And like, I'm not even abnormally small. Like, I am small, but I would think it's proportional because I'm super short as well. But the other girls that are as skinny or skinnier than me, like there's two girls that weigh less than me, because they all want to know weight, and yet they're not talked about or talked to at all about their figure because they eat meat, and so clearly they're so healthy. Okay, anyway, sorry, now I'm just getting mad. So in December, like the worst week, I just remember the worst week. I just came home and I was bawling because like I was just so stressed. My co-teachers just kept giving me a bunch of new work, a bunch of new assignments, and they kept wanting it to be done that day. And at that point, I was teaching the majority of my classes by myself because my co-teachers didn't come, and I didn't know what I was supposed to be teaching. And so when I would teach like lesson, let's say 7, my co-teacher would be like, oh, Megan, in the middle of my lesson, oh, Megan, you're on the wrong lesson. Do lesson 8. And I'm like, well, I don't have any material for lesson 8 because I'm on lesson 7, which is what we did last week. So we technically should still be on it because we have to do so many weeks of that lesson. And then she was like, oh, you don't have anything? I'm like, obviously not. I mean, you're not helping me at all either. Drove me crazy. Anyway, yeah, so that was a struggle. And then every day they just wanted something new, something new, something new. And then on top of that, just being commented about my weight and my size and my food choices and all that stuff. And it was outrageous. And the weekend that it got super bad, I got to hang out with some of my friends, and it was so great. Like, I had a sleepover, and it helped so much, and I was like, this is what I needed. I just needed, like, girl time, that's all, or, like, not girl time in particular, but just friend time. And I got home on Sunday night, and my throat felt sore, and I was like, oh, shit, I'm gonna get a cold. And I was telling my dad this. I was like, ugh, this is gonna suck. And then that night, I was like, I think I should take a sick day tomorrow. Like, a sick day, not because I'm going to be super sick, but because, like, a sick day for mental health. Like, I just need a break. I am exhausted. I teach 5 classes every day, but I'm in the office 40 plus hours a week, and I'm just so tired. And I was going to message the coordinator about what if it's okay to take a sick day for mental health, and if I could just say, like, I'm really sick, how would it work? My throat is really raspy right now. Sorry, I'm gonna drink water. It's gonna happen. Okay, sorry. I just had like Diet Coke and it's all stuck in my throat. Yeah, so I was gonna ask him if I could take a sick day for mental health, blah, blah, blah. But then I decided I'm just gonna stick through the day. I can do it. Like, if I can make it through this day, I can make it through any day. Like, I'm not even gonna be that sick. On Mondays, I teach 6 classes back to back with only a 30-minute lunch break in between. It's disgusting. It shouldn't even be legal, to be honest. Like, it's so much. Anyway, I woke up with a headache, and I never, ever, ever get headaches, ever. So I was just like, what is this? Like, I've never felt this. I think the last time, I don't remember the last time I had a headache because I just don't get them. And I'm very, very fortunate, very lucky. But I was like, this is so weird. Like, I don't know why I have this. Because it wasn't a cold. Like, I don't get headaches. And when I get colds, which is also very rare, even though I get them all the time here, probably because pollution and stress. I was just like, this is weird. Like, my throat hurts, but my head is really weird. Like, it's stinging really, really bad. And so I got to work, and I told my co-teacher that I just didn't feel good, and she was like, "Oh, just take medicine, you're fine." And I was like, no, it's okay, I'll pass. And so I got to my classroom, and I was teaching. First class went okay. Second class, I started to get even sicker. Like, my head started to hurt even worse, and I was so tired. Like, it was a weird amount of tired. Like, you know when you take an allergy pill, or if you're sick and you take a nighttime cold pill, and you get that drowsy that's like, I could literally fall over because I'm so tired. Like, I could just die. I'm so tired. Well, it was like that. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I have a headache and I'm so exhausted. And so I told my co-teacher, and she was like, what did she say? Oh, she was like, "Oh, you're almost there. You're almost done." And I was like, yep, almost done. Just 5 more to go. So after class two, yeah. I was like, I was gonna fall over. I was so tired. And then I texted my dad, and I was like, "Dad, my head feels really, really weird." And then he was like, "Well, what kind of weird?" And that was the last text he got from me that day. Because during class 1, I told my co-teacher I was going to faint. Like, I'm straight up going to faint. And she was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, I'm gonna faint, like, right now or something. I'm gonna throw up. I don't know what's gonna happen. My head is on fire. And I'm so tired. I can't even stress this enough. So naturally, she starts asking about my symptoms, and I start crying in class because whenever someone asks me about symptoms or whenever I'm sick, I turn into a big baby, and so I started crying. Not like bawling, but like a tear was streaming, and like all the students were looking at me, and they were like, Megan's crying. Megan teacher's crying. Megan teacher. I was like, oh fuck, not this. And so obviously that made me like try to suppress even more tears because like people are looking at me. So after 3rd period, my co-teacher decided that well, first she asked me if I think I can handle the 4th and the 5th and the 6th, and I was like, no, I'm gonna straight up be honest, I can't do it. Like, I cannot. And so they ended up taking me to the hospital. At first they told me to walk there, a 20-minute walk in the rain in 41-degree weather. I was like, okay, that's not going to happen. First of all, I'm not going to walk to the hospital in this weather. Are you retarded? I'm sick. And I didn't actually say that, but I was like, I'm not going to go then. And so they took me to the hospital, and I told the guy that it was the flu because that's what I like figured it was, just like really bad flu, because that's what the flus here do. And he was like, no, it's probably a brain tumor. And I was like, it's not a brain tumor. It's not a brain tumor. It's either the flu or what I found out to be later, burnout. So I have to take a really expensive MRI to see if I had cancer and brain tumors, and I did not. He was like, "Oh, your brain is very healthy. That's very strange." And I was like, "Are you fucking retarded? Why did you, why?" And so, while I was waiting for, me to be put into a room and then get an IV to make my headache go away. Those IVs are addictive, by the way. They are good. First of all, they make you sleep. And then two, they're just like an all cure. They just do everything. It was amazing. Like, oh my God, I don't know what that yellow liquid was, but it was Jesus. So while I was waiting for my bed in that room, I got really, really dizzy, and I like threw up, and I was like, this is weird. Why am I so sick? Anyway, so after that, after my little IV session, I went home and I slept for 16 hours. And then the following day, I taught one class, and then my co-teacher was like, "Megan, you still look really tired. Just go home." And I was like, this is actually the nicest thing you've ever done for me. Wow. And then I slept another 16 hours. And when I woke up on Wednesday, I felt so good. Oh my God, I just needed a break and I needed sleep. Come to find out later that what I had experienced is burnout, which I will get into. So if you don't know what burnout is, it's essentially the point where you get so stressed and depressed and tired that it all adds up, and then you get physically ill from it. So it can happen to anyone, and the symptoms vary, and the causes vary. Everything depends. So for me, it was because I was so depressed and so lonely and so stressed. I was so stressed that I legitimately got so physically ill. Like, it's your body telling you that you need to stop. And so that's why I was so tired, is because my body was like, you're so stressed. Go the fuck to sleep. Stay the fuck asleep and stop thinking. Stop thinking. So it helped a lot that I had slept and all that stuff. And people were caring afterwards. Yeah. But they still think that, oh yeah, and my co-teachers, they were like, oh, I wonder what the cause was. That's so weird. The doctors have no explanation. I was like, well, honey, that is what happens when you become so stressed. Yeah. So that was pretty intense. Also, I said I went to the hospital. The hospitals here are very different from Western hospitals. Here, there are no just like doctors. It's just they have a hospital and you go there for anything. You go there for dermatology, for like if you want a mole looked at or wrinkles removed. You go there if you have a stomachache. You go there if you have a headache. You go there if you have a cold. You go there. You just go there for everything all the time. And it's walk-in, and it's super fast, super quick. If you need an IV, you get your IV. Because everything, all the pills here are prescription only, and so you need to go to the doctor and you need to go to the hospital. But the hospital's super cheap. You just go in, like the IV and everything. Okay, so the MRI was $70, which is still so much cheaper than America. And then my IV and my medication, which I didn't take because it was for inflammation and gas. No, thanks. All of that was $8. So, oh, and then the consultation and all that stuff, that was free. So essentially I paid about $80 for everything. Not bad. Plus I got that 32 hours of rest over the course of 2 days. So necessary. Yeah. So that was my December, and it was quite the struggle. But after that happened, I definitely feel better, and I think the shock of it all has finally passed, because I'm not like super lonely and I know how to like cope with things a lot better. Of course, time will only tell when school starts back up again. But yeah, no, I think that was just like the main hit of it, and it was bound to happen eventually. So, yeah. Other than that, after that, it was a lot better. Like I went, the following week was actually Christmas. So thank God I felt better for that. And I got to see my best friends and meet some people. And it was great. It was so fun. We went to Gwangju, me. What else did I do? Went hiking with some friends. And then... oh yeah. And then the final week of school, which was the final week of December, I didn't teach at all. It was the greatest thing of all time. Like, no classes. Yes. I still had to go in, but I was just like talking, like using computer, blah, 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 blah. Posting on the blog, you know, the general stuff. Yeah. And then, what else? Like for New Year's, just hung out with some friends, like nothing too crazy. Can't do much in Jolanamdo. Yeah. But anyway, I guess I should talk about vacation time, or save that for another video. I'll save that for another video. This one's long. Oh God, this one's really long. I am so sorry. Wow, 21 minutes of a cry festival. My bad, homies. My bad. Next video will be so much more pleasant, and I'm going to talk to you about my vacation time, which was supposed to be 24 days, but I got 36. Plus, I'm allowed to go home at 12 after camp, and it's amazing. If you want to know about camp that they make you do when you're teaching in Korea, that's on my blog, meganthevegan.blogspot. But yeah, I'll post about that too. Next week, I'll be in Japan for 2 weeks, and then I come back for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after, Japan for 2 weeks, Korea 2 weeks, then Taiwan for 2 weeks. So excited. And tomorrow I have an interview for a job in China, so we'll find out how that goes. Yeah, anyway, see you guys. Bye!